city. It's the Wendy Williams Show. Now, here's Wendy.
You're the one. Thank you for watching. Say hello to my co-host and studio audience. How you doing? Me? I'm doing okay. Let's get started. It's time for... Yeah. Thank you. Have a seat. Make yourselves at home. 20 years ago today, there are a lot of women whose lives were changed because Sex and the City premiered. Yeah. Where was your life 20 years ago? I know I was watching. I loved it. HBO, that was back when there weren't so many channels, and HBO was really the top channel when you wanted to see edgy stuff like The Sopranos. And of course, the show highlighted love and fashion and shoes and handbags and all the things. And New York, mostly New York. New York. Yeah. And so speaking of fashion, everybody was stunned yesterday when we heard about the designer Kate Spade, who passed away by committing suicide. Her housekeeper found her. She left a note to she and her husband's 13-year-old daughter, Frances. Part of the note said, I have always loved you. This is not your fault. Ask Daddy. I mean, this is rough, man. You know, if you're too young, then maybe you can't relate to what a 55-year-old woman goes through, but I gotta say, you know, it's a weird age group because some of us have children going off to college. Some of us are grandparents. Some of us have loved and lost, maybe never to love again. Some of us are very sick and can't walk or even, speak our names. It's like an odd age group, man. You know what I'm saying? So reportedly, she and please save your. Why are you crying? Is you and Kevin okay? Yes, Kevin is okay. We are okay. Came to work today. He's right over my shoulder. But I sympathize with this struggle. You know, I have friends in this age group and we're all going through a little something. And her older sister said that she suffered from mental illness. By the way, one of my Wendy watchers gave me this cute Wonder Woman cozy, right? Right? You guys are always doing something nice, and you know I love it. Apparently, she's got this older sister who was estranged from the family, but the older sister said that Kate had been suffering from mental illness, and she chickened out on suicide attempt a few times. Seeking treatment for her depression a few times. She was afraid that it would ruin the Kate Spade brand. Well, man, that's just heavy, man, you know. Suicide is the #1 cause of death. They said, not #1, but in the top 3 for women between 45 and 65 years old. Yeah, we middle-aged women. So look, girl, I don't know what you're going through today, but if I can just make you laugh for another 55 minutes. And take your mind off your struggles. But if you are struggling with mental illness or whatever you're going through, the telephone number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline or Lifeline is right below, 1-800-273-8255, or go to wendyshow.com. Very sad, very, very sad. Very sad. I guess Wendy's thinking about committing suicide. Ugh. You can't win.
You cannot win.
No.
Delete.
Trey Songz is being sued by a photographer and a cop. Now, we haven't talked about Trigger in a moment. But I like to do a Trey Songz story because that gives me a chance to put Trey Songz up on the... Okay, so in 2016, he did a concert. And at the concert, on the bill also was Chris Brown. So Chris already performed, Trey Songz performed. That's a good show, right, you all? All right. Anyway, this is 2016. And then Trey Songz ended up destroying the stage. We talked about this on Hot Topics back when it happened. He destroyed the stage because the venue started turning off the lights, saying that the concert was running too long. And what happens at venues is you have people, holding cameras and in charge of lights, and these people are in unions. Plus, you've got a contract with the venue. If it's supposed to be over at 11, it really has to be over at 11. Nobody's got time for 11:01. Real deal. So he's been around enough to understand that. I don't know what you were thinking, Trey, but he went nuts. He hit the photographer with a mic stand. And look, and punched a cop in the face backstage. Well, the cop fell, hit his head, and hurt his hip. Trey refuses to cooperate, and is this his mugshot? No, he's. Oh wait, the mugshot with the middle finger.
And then there's another one.
Yeah. Mugshot with the middle finger. They say he's facing 4 years in prison, but he pled guilty to 18 months. So now he pled guilty, so he's 18 months probation. So he's done with that part, but now the cop and the photographer are back on the case to sue Trey for whatever they can get from him. The problem is we haven't heard relevant new music from Trey Songz in a while. I mean, he still can get it by many of his people. Right? It's not like he's off getting dumpy someplace. It's not like he can't sing. People love Trey Songz. And Trey is usually known as a gentleman, although now he's in a Chris Brown world. And I guess, he's like, okay, I'm on a Chris Brown show. This is what, I'm supposed to do. You know how sometimes the people that you surround yourself end up influencing you. But that's not the Trey Songz we know. That's Trey Songz Brown. We don't like that. We don't like that. He was also accused, remember we told you this story too? Trey Songz is in the parking lot minding his own business. I don't know what parking lot, I don't know where, separate story. A woman goes up to him and wants a selfie or something. Trey Songz ended up knocking her phone out of her hand. The phone crashed into her glasses, fell on the ground, and we talked about that also. So this whole little bad boy thing, or what do you have to do? Bad boy or bad girl thing. So he pled guilty. He'll probably have to pay money. We looked on CelebrityNetWorth.com. They say he's worth $12 million, which is not enough. Not enough for Trey Songz as long as he's out here doing, what happened? He will probably have to pay. I don't know what he has to pay, but I do know that that birthday song will get you money all your life. That makes people say, Anyway, Trigger, behave yourself, and we're following this story. Okay, so here we go. Oh, please. I still can't believe the Kate Spade thing. It was like a 24-hour hotline at our house last night. Me talking to some of the girlfriends, in our age group, but why? And it just goes to show you can be rich, you can be beautiful, you can be successful, but you can have problems that no one sees. And you gotta get some help for yourself. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your kids. I think I might have left out this part. It's alleged that the husband, Andy, wanted a divorce, and she didn't want the divorce, and this has been going on for quite some time. She didn't want the divorce, but he wanted the divorce. Anyway, so Kendall Jenner has a new man. His name is Ben Simmons. Now, by the way, today's Hot Topics features 3 Simmons stories. The first one is Ben. Okay, so Ben apparently and Kendall, Kendall has a new man. Ben Simmons got played, is what I'm saying. But you know what, Ben? That's what you get for dumping Tanashi. Yeah. Like, she had to find out someplace whack, like social media, that she's dumped, this Tanashi. And it turns out, you know, he was complaining because all she was into is, beefing up her social media, always taking selfies and doing things like that. And allegedly threw it in her face, like, why are you trying to be like Kardashians and stuff? Only to dump her, and she's thinking they're in love, this Tanashi. Dumped her and traded her in for Jenner Kardashian. Well, now Kendall was spotted. Well, anyway, they were spotted the other day in LA, and they're a couple, okay? Well, not anymore. Monday night, Kendall was straddling a man. She was making out with Gigi and Bella Hadid's younger brother. His name is Anwar. And now, look. All the families have been friends like for so many years. This is so kind of incestuous to me, in a weird kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're 2 good friends, younger brother. I don't think this is a romance. I think everybody was probably turned up. Yeah. And I even think that both of these 2 know each other enough that even if they did hook up, I don't see this as a romance. Kendall is 21, 2, and Anwar is 19. But see, Ben, this is the lesson that you have to learn. The lesson you have to learn is all these girls are doing the most on this internet. And if you're trying to find a girl from the internet, it's not gonna work. Tanashi, this is what you do today, okay? Because, dear, we barely remembered you as an artist. I know. No, excuse me. We know her. She's been on our show and stuff like that, but she really does have to get her artist cue up. It's tough out here in the Rihanna world. So this is what you do. This is what you do. And I normally wouldn't advise you to go back to him, but here's what you do. You go to the bank today, and you find out how much you got there at the bank. Nope. And if it's not enough, you might have to answer that call when Ben calls you back. And then you get back with him and play him for a few more selfies and private planes before you move on. Right? Okay. You know Usher, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. Well, according to a man. Oh, yes. Oh, where have you been? Anyway, according to a man, this story's been out, you guys. According to a man, Usher, he's saying that Usher gave him herpes and wants Usher to turn over his medical records. Remember, there were 3 other people that sued Usher for exposing them to herpes. Quantasia Sharpton. There's Quantasia. Then there was... Then there was somebody that we don't know. He's just John Doe. So there's 2 men and a woman who've...
Women.
Two
women and 1 man.
Well, who's John Doe?
2 women, Quantasia, Jane Doe, and then John Doe.
Okay. Well, look. The John Doe man is claiming, all right, do you know in LA, now they're rebuilding downtown LA. It's supposed to be something fabulous once it's done, but apparently this man is saying that he had sex with Usher in a spa in Koreatown, downtown LA. And so this John Doe wants the judge to make Usher turn over his records, but Usher's refusing. But here's my thing, John Doe. I don't know what you were doing at the spa, but if you live your life a particular way where you're exposing yourself to so many people doing so many things, you know, it's not exactly like you're a school teacher, John Doe. I'm not judging what you do, but how do you know Usher was the one who exposed you to herpes? And number two, Usher, you know, if you don't have herpes, then why haven't you just put all these rumors to rest? With Quantasia, John Doe, Jane Doe, your wife left. I didn't hear anything about herpes in there, but this has been a bad year for Usher. They got a divorce. There she is. He's got those cute kids, though, right? Guess he can't kiss them on the mouth, huh? I don't know. But here's my thing. Here's my thing. But no, seriously, Usher, you know I love you, and you and I have gone all the way around Robin Hood's barn regarding you and men. But if you don't have herpes, then just expose that portion of your medical records. Because right now, these people are coming out and accusing you of stuff. If you didn't do it, then just expose that portion of your medical records. I know it's a violation, but they don't want to know whether you have diabetes or high blood pressure. Just expose the herpes column. And guess what? Guess what? To the man in the bathhouse in Koreatown, Usher, as we all know, even those of us who don't have herpes, there are several different strains. The man in the bathhouse might have a different strain from you. Quantasia dodged the bullet. She didn't have herpes. You know, Quantasia's just mad that you even exposed her to it. Well, as usual, we'll be following this story. So Gene Simmons, he's 68 years old, you know? And he's, you know, from the group Kiss, and as you know, and if you've been watching our show long enough, you know he's been here before. He was on Celebrity Apprentice. Gene Simmons, he's a rock star. He's one of those ones, he saved all his money, he's still rich beyond belief, okay? But he's always been known for having a sexist behavior, and I guess back in the day, before all this Me Too enlightenment happened, where we girls are standing up and telling these men we're not taking it anymore, Gene grew up at a time where, you know, it was hip to brag and treat women like, you know, Fruit Loops or something. So Gene loved to brag about sleeping. He says he slept with over 5,000 women during his Kiss years. Usher, you thought you had it bad. Well, recently he openly admitted that he would hit on women, and once he told a female journalist, he said that she should welcome him with open legs. But this is what they were allowed to get away with, you know? This is what they were allowed to get away with. I suspect that somebody's about to come out and Me Too him, and that's why he's doing all this talking right now. He's about to have a whole parade of them, but he's getting in front of it. Anyway, here's Gene. You know, just a delicate perm or something. A little flat iron. But that's his natural hair. It's very pubescent, isn't it? Like puby. All right, anyway, here's Gene. He's talking about his behavior now. Here's Gene now talking about his behavior from the past. Take a look.
For 29 years, I did what you could imagine guys in bands do. There's no excuse for that kind of language, not from me and not from you, not from anybody else. But you also have to recognize, and this is not a defense, just the observation, it was a different time. the more arrogant and sexist you were, the cooler you were to your fans. Now, of course, somebody else might take offense to that. The times were wrong. I was completely wrong. What can I say? I've made lots of mistakes. It's time all of us sort of woke up, and I'll be the first one to admit I've been an arrogant, sexist pig.
I can appreciate that. It's a different time and a different day. He's been married to his wife, Shannon Tweed, for like 30 years. And they do have children together. And just, but that'll learn you. But I still do believe he was about to be Me Too'd. Or might be getting Me Too'd, so he tried to get in front of it. Nice looking couple though, right? Okay. So Gene is the second Simmons from this morning's Hot Topic session. Are you ready for the third? Richard Simmons! So, listen, it's been... Stop, you guys. I mean, do what you want, but wow, even I'm not that cruel. He's a friend to the show, but it's been 4 years, 4 months, and 27 days since we've seen Richard Simmons. And it looks like he really does just want to keep us away. I don't know what he's doing. Remember, he has the Dalmatians. He loved his dog died. He has one sergeant at arms, his housekeeper, who's been with him for ages. And people at first thought that she was being mean to him and keeping him away from us. But no, that's not it. A lot of people were saying, oh, he's going to get a sex change operation. I don't believe any of that. So Richard is suing this private detective for placing a tracking device on his caretaker and driver, Teresa, just to find out whether she's taking him back and forth to the hospital for some sort of transition work. Richard has denied this. Now, and I love Richard, take this the best way. I just think Richard needs to be left alone. He's a man, he's a guy who put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces and helped a lot of people in their spirits. And he's one of my favorites here, but I don't believe he's going for a transition, but I do believe, Richard, that you do own a dresser 5 or 10. And oh, sure, and a few good wigs and well, you got the lip gloss. But I believe that he wants, as a matter of fact, we've seen a picture of him in a dress before, correct?
I think we have, yep.
Yes.
I have.
Anyway, but never you mind. Look, he wants to live his life in seclusion. He closed down his Sweatin' to the Oldies gym. Remember, he had that. So he's in the house. Oh. Be well, Richard. We got more great show for everybody. The R&B group Final Draft is performing on the Wendy stage, but up next, from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle Richards is here. So grab a snack and come on back.